Welcome to the Visible Entrepreneur Podcast, Season 5. I'm your host, Michelle Lewis, founder of Visibility Vixen. I've spent years studying color psychology, branding, visibility, and publicity, all geared to help you hit your goals faster than anyone else. I'm a TEDx speaker, Amazon best-selling author, and have helped thousands of entrepreneurs worldwide with their visual presence. This season, we're diving deep into color, why it's needed, how to use it in your branding, and how audiences subconsciously and physically react to it. My goal is to help you blow up your brand in the best way to attract your ideal audience subconsciously. I run 2 programs, the Color Course and the Visibility Lounge, so if you're ready for growth, go to visibilityvixen.com to get started today. In the meantime, let's dive into today's episode, and if you think this is a topic that a biz bestie or a friend of yours or even a relative would love, do me a favor, forward it to them, and let's dive into this episode. Hey there, and welcome back to the Visible Entrepreneur. I'm excited to be chatting with you today about why your ideal client determines about 90% of your primary brand color choice. This can be a little bit controversial, but I don't care. I found it to be true, and I'm excited to share it with you today. So if you have not yet checked out our color quiz, I want to encourage you to do that because that is going to give you some great hints as to where to move forward with your branding. You can check that out at visibilityvixen.com/color quiz. Before we dive in, I want you to grab, if you can, either the notes on your phone, a sheet of paper, and a pen, because it's important no matter where you are with your business that you're able to see if there are some gaps when it comes to your ideal client. It's because a lot of times when we get to this stage of training, specifically with color psychology, there is a big struggle and there's a big gap, and a lot of people want to rush through it and I just want to get to the color. It's like, we can't, because this is so important. There's a book that came out a while ago. I'm sure you've heard of it. You may have already read it, but it's Donald Miller's Building a Story Brand. What was so revolutionary about this book as it came out is that this was the first time this concept was ever introduced. And that was, your ideal client is the hero of your business, not yourself. Now, this was a huge kick in the pants to all the 90s and early 2000s marketers, because as we all know, it was all about them. It was all about the Lamborghinis, the big stuff, and the big house and all the things. And you want to become me, right? That was the cinch of the marketing. But what Donald was saying, based on all of his years as a screenwriter, is no, it's not. It's about the hero of the journey, of the story, is the ideal client. The hero of your brand and business is your ideal client. And it made a lot of people go, wait, what? Right? I've been making it all about me because that's what I was taught. It really needs to be all about them. That's the same thing I love to teach. Your colors and your branding shouldn't have much to do with you. It should have almost everything to do with your ideal client. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, because it's a switch in your thinking. But once you make the switch, it's like, holy smokes, everything needs to change. And I don't say that to intimidate you. I say that to excite you, because it's one of the simplest things you can do when breaking down a business, right? Taking out a product would be hard, or a service. Taking out, a lot of your key messaging would be really hard. Switching out a color, not hard. I know people say, well, I'll have to redo a photo shoot. You may have to, but that's a very small thing compared to the other things that could be rehauled in your business. I would much rather deal with color than like key central messaging, or, having to start all over again outside of the Visibility Lounge. That would be really, really hard, right? So this is relatively easy. What I want you to do is I want you to, with that notepad or sheet of paper or the notes on your phone, I want you to start writing out what you know about your ideal client. Who are they? And I don't want this to be general. I want you to take, based off an actual customer, who are they? What's their age range? What are their aspirations and goals? What are their struggles? What are their pains? What do they love? How do they learn? How do they feel? How do they approach things in life? What are some of their beliefs? These are important questions to understand, because the one question it all relates to is how you want your ideal client to feel the first time they see your brand. Not, down the line when they're already a customer. The first time they see you, what do you want them to feel? Because when someone's coming across you on social media, an ad, a referral, on a summit, on a podcast, on stage, this is their first impression of you. And this is our first opportunity, I should also say website, this is our first opportunity to impact them visually. We know the commercials are doing it all the time. We know the movies are doing it all the time. We know the stores that they're going to are doing it all the time. We know the advertisers on social media are doing it all the time. Why aren't we doing it? We can use our powers for good, right? So we should be using them for good, and we should know exactly what we want the ideal client to feel the first time they interact with our brand. We should know and have the basic knowledge of color psychology to choose this color very, very intentionally, understanding all the positive and negative ramifications of the color, understanding with absolute certainty why it is the right color, so that then we can rest knowing that whenever that ideal client sees us, they'll go, that's my person, right? I can't tell you how many times I jump on a call with someone or someone new comes in and they say, I saw you and I just had this feeling. I just knew. I just had this natural trust, or I just knew that you were the teacher for me. I just felt it. Well, that is almost 100% because I have put all of this thought and feeling and work into my brand to know that that's how I'll make them feel, the right people, right? Because I know what I want them to feel the first time they see me. And that's what happens. So that's what I want you to walk away with. And that's why I want you to understand this concept that when it comes to our brand, and especially our primary brand color, since we want that to be the color, and I'm going to say it for the 100th time, that they are attracted to because that's how we want them to feel the first time they see us, why would that have much to do with us? Could you answer that for me? Why would our primary brand color choice, if it's the number one attractant for someone, right? We're trying to limit those touch points instead of it being 10 to 20 touch points before someone purchases from us. We want to shorten that, half that, 90% cut that, right? And if that's visual, then why would that have much to do with us? And the true answer is it really wouldn't, because it's all about them, just like Donald Miller says. So that's what really transformed my mindset and helped me to go, oh, well, then that takes, in a way, a lot of the weight off, right? They're determining a lot of the visuals of my brand. And of course, you can get into tonal color harmony, and that is where your personality comes in. But for the most part, it has very little to do with us. That's why I say 90% about them, 10% about us. I'm being a little generous. I would venture to say it's closer to like 5%, if not less, because it is about them. It's about supporting them. It's about them coming to our homepage of our website and feeling supported and seen and feeling like they're home. It's about them seeing us on a summit or a live stream or a webinar or a speech or TEDx or whatever it is and going, what is it about this person? Like, why? Wow, I'm just feeling really attracted to this person's message right now. Why would we work so much harder? Let's say we're just wearing black or whatever. Why would we make ourselves work so much harder to get someone's attention and to understand who we are and what we can offer, when we could just put a different color shirt on with that intention and they would go, oh, I get it. Why would we not want to do that, right? So those are the things to really take into consideration to understand why it has so very little to do with us. You look at bigger brands and let me see if I can pull one out of thin air here. It's been a long day. Let's take like Albertsons or something, right? Their branding predominantly is blue. That would be like the CEO or the big owner, the biggest financial investor, whoever at Albertsons being like, I don't feel like that color reflects me very well. That's not my personality. And of course, everyone that was on the board would be like, well, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what attracts the customers, right? It's true of everything. It's true, especially like I harp on constantly, some of the people that are most educated about color psychology are the people that run the medication commercials. And it would be like them saying, well, I invented this Why is this not more reflective of me? And they'd go, because it doesn't sell, right? And sometimes I hear, well, Michelle, it isn't always about selling. And I go, if you want to stay in business, it is. I'm not saying that you're not absolutely incredible. I'm not saying that you can't help someone to change their life. I'm not saying that you don't have impact and uniqueness and just an incredible selfless nature. But I'm saying that this is the perfect pair for someone to be able to go, that's my person. You can help them faster. You can serve them faster. You can attract more revenue faster to then what a concept, give it back to the world. I don't say that specifically to you. I say that snarkily to the world because I think our entrepreneurship space really sucks at giving back. I can't believe how few people I see that actually give back in their business. They keep it all for themselves. And I go, okay, well then don't say you're an impact maker. Don't say you're here to change the world, because what you're really here for is to get enough clients to make all the money that you want and then keep it. If you want to impact the world, then we have to give it back, right? I don't care where we're at on our income scale. It can be $1. When I first started out, it was $1. Now it's closer to 10% every month. So there's something that really needs to be said about, if we really want to make this difference, how much more powerfully we can do it with color psychology. But especially if you're going to be in my world and learning color from me, that I'm always going to be telling you, hey, you're going to see growth, and now what are you going to do? And I hope that that is definitely impacting your clients and your audience. But I also desperately hope that it's giving back. Because just like I've been given these gifts through study and why I'm still here, which is a lot of the ways through my personal beliefs of God wanting me to get this message out there, I want you to go, wow, I was attracted into her sphere to learn this stuff that's so powerful about color and the colors that were put here on this earth. I'm also going to continue forward and spread that message about giving back and do that myself. That's how we truly change things. That's how we'll change this industry. That's how we'll change our local cities. That's how we'll change our countries. That is how we will change the world. So, little rant there. Hope you were there with me for it. Would love to hear what you thought of today's episode, specifically about how your ideal client has everything to do with your primary brand color choice. And I'm excited to be here this season to help support you with figuring out what that color truly is. If you want to jump right into it with me and be working with me side by side in your brand and business, I highly encourage you to jump into the color course. You can find that at visibilityvixen.com. That's where all of this stems from. That's where all the research I've done over all these years, it's all power packed into this course. I think you will love it. In the meantime, I'm excited to keep going through this season with you, talking even more about color, all the odds and ends, everything I know, giving it all to you. Appreciate you. Hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next time for another episode on color. I hope you loved this episode as much as I did. Now, we're all about building a tribe here at The Visible Entrepreneur, so be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and then head on over to the Facebook group. It's a great place where you can practice your video, live stream, and really enjoy the community that we have built. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next episode. Now get out there and get more visible.
That's a wrap.